Well, I see it. Oh boy. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to come on and see if anybody wanted to talk about our Gabby Petito autopsy. I think it's pretty much a game changer. I want to see if anybody else felt that way. I know you're heartbroken. We're all heartbroken. That's for sure. But do you think this changes anything for the Laundries? Could they be charged with anything now? Or do you think this doesn't change anything at all? Did you expect her to be strangled? Did you expect that was going to be the manner of death? I expected it to be violent. I really did. Just by the way he has his rage and violent tendencies and how he got mad at her. So mad at her that he put her backpack in the back of the van and took off. That's pretty that's pretty bad. So, I wanted to go back to the beginning a little bit and talk about Brian and his insecurities because they are insurmountable. They're so big. I think from the start of this journey, Gabby didn't have a chance. I really don't think she had a chance from the start of her. And the sad part is, this was her beautiful dream. This was her dream and what she wanted to do. But this wasn't his dream. And this is not what he wanted to do. So it would have only been okay if it would have been what Brian wanted to do. And unfortunately, it wasn't. So from the very beginning, I think she wanted this to be a life-changing adventure for them both. See, her heart was open and pure. She was including him and thinking that he wanted to do the same thing. And then I don't know when the dynamic changed and she started finding out that he was not wanting to do the same thing as her. He just wanted to control her. But with her going on social media like she did and, out there in the world, he couldn't control anything about her because she had some different ideas about what she wanted to do and what she would like to do. And his only idea was Brian. The only thing Brian wanted to do was control Gabby completely. And a narcissistic behavior like that always includes family and friends. And if you notice, she moved to his house away from her family. He didn't move away from his family. He stayed right there. I don't think Brian was about to move away from mom ever. If this had not come about, I don't think Brian would have ever moved away from mom. I think he would have stayed with mom for a very long time, probably indefinitely. I don't know. But the narcissistic behavior started there at square one. He had her drop everything, her family, her friends, everything she was doing to go move to his house where he thought he would have complete control of her. And he probably did for a while. He probably had complete control of her for a while until she decided the van life would be a really neat adventure, you know. And he noticed probably as soon as they took off, the control was diminishing. Not only was the control diminishing, but she wasn't respecting him like she did when they were just sitting at the house under his mom and dad's roof. Because, see, there's a total different dynamic here. When they were living with his mom and dad, she is super respectful because she's under mom and dad's roof. And you could tell how sweet she was. She would have really, really loved that. But what he was doing was he had her there so he could completely control her. There's a big difference here. The dynamic is completely different here. And once they got out and they got in that van, the control was diminishing, the more frustrated he got, the madder he got, because the control was going, and that's his big game, until he finally snapped. He completely lost it. And if you notice, when they were in public places, they were always fighting. Know if they were fighting like that when they were out in the van, I don't know. But I know when they got to the Merry Pig and the Moonflower, they were fighting in public. So I think when he got in public, and now there was another man that said, another sighting of Brian, I know, grain of salt, but he said he seen Brian at the bar and he was super agitated. I kind of just threw that out until he started talking about how mad and agitated he was. And now I'm wondering, did he see Brian? He might have, because I do believe Brian was mad and agitated all the time because he was losing that control he really, really desired. And I'm noticing in public, they were always getting into it. I'm hoping in the van that they got along good when they were out and about. And I think they did. I think when this started is when she started putting more time into her social media than she did with him on this vacation out in bum effing nowhere. And he was more feeling like she should have just spent all the time doting on Brian, because looks to me like that's what mom does. And she wasn't. She was, interacting with the world and getting her little career going, and it was taking a lot of work. It was taking a lot of work for her to get nomadic static off the ground. It was very hard. And every time she would tell him, now you notice that the big blow up, when they got pulled over, the person 911 called them and they got pulled over, you notice that that's the day that she spent 6 hours in a coffee shop. She needed to spend that time because she was working on her blog. She was working on nomadic static, and that was her number one big thing to do. Well, that's 6 hours of him not being out in the wild like he thought he should be, not having any contact with humans like he thought he should be. That's 6 hours of him having to stay in contact in town where he didn't want to be. So I think the more that she spent on that blog, the madder he got, because the more the loss of control was coming in. And he was losing it. He was losing it, and he was losing it every day. And what he said when they got pulled over, and when those cops pulled him over, and he got in trouble, I noticed the two of them, the dynamic was total. He has no fault at all. It was all her fault. He didn't do anything. I mean, it seemed like at first they were going to throw her in jail. The way that those cops were talking to each other at first when they talked to him seemed to me like they were siding with him a lot. It kind of surprised me how much they sided with him when they seen how upset she was. And they still sided with him. I don't know why. I mean, it's to me that if I seen my daughter like that, I'm not going to immediately go, well, you caused it. There you go. No. And then, I know, honey. I know. I wish they did throw her in jail too, honey, because you're right. You're right. She might be here. I know it would have been sad starting out, but she might be here. But let me tell you, Miss Spiritual, which thank you so much for, I know your loving heart is showing. The way he had the control on her, let's say they did throw her in jail for the night or 2 nights. I really think they would have went right back together because boy, he had the control on this girl. I mean, she instantly come up with, oh, yeah, he might have scratched me, but I hit him first. I'm boy, she has just taken the blame. I felt so sorry for her. She's just, I mean, anything she could to take the blame and make sure nothing happens to Brian. You know what's sad is he really was number one to her. That's sad that she really cared about him. I think kind of groomed to do so until she thought he was just number one. And then look what happened. I mean, oh, I know he did this. He killed her, you guys. So you're saying, yeah, I thought that too. Sadly, she needed support and for the police to see domestic violence and help her out of it. Yes, yes. Oh, that's so true right there. She needed the support. Because he has probably been just rotten to her for a while before this happened. Well, he was. He was. Because she had already gotten to the point where she was ready to go to jail when the cops came. So, boy, I mean, he had been so rotten to her up until then. She needed support so bad. And she needed and the cops would have been excellent support for her. I know. That's just so sad. That's sad. We would like to think that if they took her in, that would have been the end of it. That would be wonderful. I wish that would have been the end of it. We can only speculate if she would have went back or not, but I don't know. I would have liked them to pick her up and maybe she never did go back with him. Maybe just go home, and not ever see him again would have been the best of it. But that's not what happened. You're right. It's such a shame. She looked like she just needed a big hug in the body cam. You're right, honey. We would all love to be the one to give her that big hug, huh? I know you would, and I would too. She definitely needed a hug and she needed to be saved. Because if it didn't happen on this trip, which we know it did, I think he probably would have continued on because he already had rage building. It's horrible. I wish anybody would have intervened, you know. And I think his snapping point was when they were in the Merry Pig and she went back in and apologized for his behavior. And I think that was a snapping point for Brian. I think he went, "Oh no, you're saying you're sorry for my behavior when of course I do nothing wrong." Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's a pattern with men like him often leads to a terrible end, sadly. Oh yes, that's true. It hardly ever does it not lead to this. I mean, when they're this violent, when he had that much aggression building up and this much violence, he had already grabbed her face. And I do believe the 911 caller said he'd already slapped her, locked her out of the van. I mean, oh my God, this is, people look at it and now and go, Jiminy Crickets, I mean, this is horrible. This domestic violence is horrible. And did you notice when he was talking about the autopsy today, he said he's done a lot of cases with domestic violence. Well, he basically said right there that Brian did it. Because when he said he did a lot of cases with domestic violence, he basically said that he thought Brian did it. Well, he wasn't supposed to say that. They asked him questions like, did he think Brian did it? And he said, "Oh, I can't tell you that." But he basically did tell you that when he said there's a lot of these cases with domestic violence. So even the medical examiner said, "Hey, he knows Brian did it too." I don't think he did it on purpose. You're saying, yeah, he more or less admitted Brian did it. I don't know if he did that on purpose or not, but it was there. I really don't think he did it on purpose. Because if he would have done it, if he would have answered the question, yes, it was Brian to begin with, we would have known it was okay for him to say that. I think it was more a slip. It was definitely a slip. Hello, Miss Ella. Tried to lock her out of her van. I know. This is horrible. Because you know what he liked? I think when he locked her out of that van and he seen that fear on her, I think he ate that up. That's disgusting. I think he ate that up. Hi there. Hi there, Ella. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I think when he locked her out of that van, whoa, he was eating that up. So sad because when she was terrified of him leaving her, that's another thing that I'm thinking if maybe she was taken in that night, if the cops would have took her in, I do believe she did need a hug and need to be, helped. But if they would have taken her in, do you guys think she would have went back with him? Because I got a feeling as uh, as much as she was scared, she might have. Oh yeah, makes people like him feel powerful. Oh yeah, it did. Oh, he was eating it up. Locking someone out of a van who fears being left is a narcissistic trait. Yes, it is. Like punishing her and saying, no, time out. It's a controlling action. Yes. Yes, it is. And I think he loved it because he could get her real upset real quick. Like he could get that control like that off of her. And he knew the buttons, didn't he? He knew what she was afraid of, didn't he? Because he's like, I'm locking you out of the van. I'm taking your phone. Oh man, I'm telling you, he was the ultimate. He was the ultimate control freak. He was the narcissistic monster under the bed right there. Because that was her lifeline. That was her weapon against him. Is her phone. That was actually the only lifeline or weapon she had against him was that computer and that phone. It's major emotional abuse. Yes, it is. And he loved it. He loved it. He was eating that up. And he was probably pretty good at it until they got out there without, anybody in his family backing him up or her not wanting them anybody else to see it happening, you know. But it still didn't end well. It ended horrible. Horrible. Now, what do you guys think about the Laundrie family? Do you think that anybody should be charged at this point? Now that we know. Yes, I see. Yeah, my ex used to leave me and not get in touch for days. I would panic. Yes, of course, panic comes in. I would panic and end up being the one begging them to come back and saying I'd change. Just don't leave. Eventually, I left. And thank God you left. Oh my goodness, girl. Thank God you got out. Because you know what? You're one of the lucky ones. And I'm so sorry that happened to you. That is very horrible. But good thing you got out. You could have ended up very well. You could have ended up hurt or you could have ended up like our little angel. Thank God you got out. It's horrible. So, what do you guys think about the Laundries? Do you think anything should be charged on them now? Does it change it at all? I know you're stronger now, but you know what? It's a stain, honey. It's a stain. I think they know where he is. Do you think they're helping him? I think they're helping him. I think they're actually making sure they help him. I really do. But since he hasn't been charged with murder, which is a horrible thing because we need to find him and charge him with murder, do you think they should be charged with something? Aiding and abetting, accessory after the fact, um, allowing him to be there and not say anything about Gabby? Yeah, I think the Laundries have been wrong from the start. So you say, my mom helped me about her age, which she told her mom. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is horrible. You guys are so lucky that you're out and about and not in that kind of situation anymore. So you're wondering if they are watching them, hoping that when time passes, they will lead the cops to him. Oh, I'm sure they are. Oh, I'm sure the cops are really keeping an eye on the Laundrie family right now. I'm sure they have been. Probably a lot stronger than the beginning, which is a good thing. Because in the beginning, they didn't really keep an eye on them like we would like them to have done. I think they're keeping an eye on him now because they know, now they know, the Laundries know, if he is picked up, he is going to get murder charges. I mean, they know that. I wonder. Oh yeah, they have responsibility. Yeah, they have responsibility. His parents has a big responsibility. I wonder what they thought when they seen the autopsy report today. What do you think the Laundries thought? Yes. And you say that's maybe why they aren't arresting. It's mind games, sometimes long process, but can only hope in time they slip up. And when the heat's off a little, they go to him. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's 100% mind games. And I know that they're really keeping tabs on them now. They are really watching them. And I wish they would. Oh, geez, I wish they would go straight to him and bring him right out. Because I'm telling you, if they arrested just Roberta, I mean, she seems to be. Oh, geez, I hate. I'm about to go into bad words. Here we go. But she seems to be almost a ringleader watching over this guy. I know I can't stand them either. Spiritual, I can't stand them either. Because I don't know how they could sit there and go through this type stuff and not tell Gabby's mom and dad anything. I mean, at that point, her mom and dad were just thirsting for any information about their baby. And I mean, I don't care how old your kid is. Hey, I got some in there in their 30s, and I'll tell you what, they're my babies. I would just die if I couldn't find my daughter. Oh my God. She's 32. And if I couldn't find her, somebody's going to give me answers. Yeah. Hearts of stone. That's what they got. Those Laundries have got hearts of stone. They're horrendous. I don't know how they can do that, knowing how they would hurt to somebody else. And the sister, everybody says, oh yeah, Roberta, she's the main enabler. She probably has got a big play in this whole entire deal since he's been little. He's been coddled somewhere along the line, probably still is. But his sister, everybody keeps saying, well, his sister came forward. But did she? Well, what did his sister say? You know, she came out there and she said, I don't know nothing. I don't know. I don't know. Well, everybody keeps saying, well, the sister broke and, she talked. I don't I don't remember the sister breaking or the sister talking. I remember her coming out there and going, "You guys are all annoying me. Can you get off my lawn? You're making my kids cry." That's not breaking or coming forward. That's just going, "Get off my lawn." Yeah, but Roberta, she is the fire. She is the one that's keeping the control all the time. Now, do you see where he got it? You see where Brian got it? Because we got some narcissistic behavior already going on in the Laundrie family. And I think it didn't fall far from the little narcissistic tree there, that little apple, because I think maybe that's what he's seen mom do. Yes, the family dynamics would be interesting to learn. Yes, it would. Because I would like to see how his mother and father has interacted since they were little, or through the entire relationship. I would love to know how their relationship has been the whole time they've been together. Because has Roberta been like this? Has she been narcissistic? Okay, well, she's a ringleader. We all know that because she told him immediately, "Come back. I've got you an attorney. Don't worry. Just don't say anything to anybody. Come back and we have an attorney and you don't have to talk to anybody." Well, yeah. She's an enabler, all right, but she even goes further than that because, boy, she made sure that he wasn't going to have any problem. Oh, that's true. You could tell you could tell that he has been favored the whole time. And look at the sister. Bye. Get out of here. You know. I think hello, Moody. I think you're saying, what do you think of the sister? She seems like an outsider or portrays herself as that. I'm going to go with portrays herself with that because I'm thinking right now she wants as far away from that family as she can get because at first she wasn't getting the heat from it. But now she's getting, hi, honey. Now she's getting the heat from it. She's got a few megahorns on her front lawn and she wasn't liking that. So come forward. I don't know if she came forward. She came outside. I think there's a difference. I think she come outside of the yard. I don't know about her coming forward, but I think she plays a big part in it. And I'll tell you why. Because she's always talking about how her little kids were so close to Gabby. They're sending them cards. There's Gabby sending them letters. She's FaceTiming with her kids off and off and off. She goes on and on about how much they loved Gabby. Oh, God, they loved her. That's what she keeps saying. Brian's sister, Cassie, keeps saying about her kids. And yet, when they said, when you seen your mom and dad and Brian on this camping trip, what did your kids didn't even ask, where's Gabby? No, your kids would be asking, they would want to know. And she's going, no, they didn't ask. Nobody asked about Gabby. We had s'mores. And that's it. That's what you're getting. And s'mores, I guess, is the word for please don't ask me any more questions. I'm not going to tell you anyway. So I guess that was her cue. S'mores, otherwise stop, s'mores. Yes, she also slipped up when she asked about abuse, and seeing it, she said, I have been in relationships like that. Get it? Like that. There it is. And then backtracked, but she said it like she saw them fighting, not arguing. And then she tried to make that a lot lighter note, didn't she? About, oh, they weren't fighting. They would take little time outs when they argued. No, I think she's seen them fight and fight good. And I think there was a lot of yelling going on at that house. And look at those 911 calls. I mean, what do we got? Like 30 of them? Ella says, did Gabby write the postcards or Brian? Whew. I think, now that I think back, I think Gabby wrote the postcards, but I'm not sure. I know when Cassie said it, she said, oh, the kids were getting all these postcards and letters and all this stuff from Gabby. That doesn't mean Gabby wrote them. I don't know. It could have been Brian. It could be, who knows, I'll tell you what, Ella, if they tell you one thing, it's usually another. You know what? They didn't, hello, Master. Briefly, what were the 911 calls about? May I ask? You know what? They didn't say specifically what they were about except for two of them. One of the 911 calls was on Gabby Petito's dad for coming to the door and asking about Gabby, and he knocked on the door, and they called 911 and said there was a man beating the door down, and it wasn't. It was Gabby Petito's dad, and he might have been knocking pretty good. If I was looking for my kid, I'm going to knock pretty good. It's going to sound like I'm knocking your door down. But that was one of the 911 calls, which was so awful. And how horrible was that? And then the second 911 call that I know of specifically was Dog the Bounty Hunter. Same MO. She said, oh, he's knocking the door down. He's yelling out here. Mm-hmm. And Moody says, the postcards are signed Aunt Gabby. Yes, you're right. They're signed to Aunt Gabby. But I'm not sure who wrote them. They are signed Aunt Gabby. But in doing so, though, Moody, she's saying that her kids are that close to Aunt Gabby. They love Aunt Gabby. And yet on the s'mores trip, nobody asked about Aunt Gabby. She said the kids never asked. No, they nobody asked. None of us asked. Nobody asked about Gabby like she never existed. And yet on the postcards, they're signed Aunt Gabby. Now, how could that be? We've got Aunt Gabby that we love so much, but then we don't ever ask about her. Something's wrong. The entire family is, yeah, they're not all together doing the right thing. And I think the sister is wanting out of that. I think she's wanting as far away. You see, spiritual even says there's no way you would not ask. That's right. I have a sister, and I always say, how's your boyfriend? Because they're together. Yes. LOL. That's true. We do. You know what? I think kind of as women anyway, I ask about everybody, you know. Even when my daughter comes home or eh, her boyfriend's not over, very often, but I always ask about him when she comes in. How's he doing and what did you do today? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Top chat. Love you so much. Thank you so much. You are amazing. Handpick. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Spiritual. Yeah, it's just making conversation often, see how people's lives are, etc. Yeah, true. This is true. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that little cute donation. That's amazing, Handpay. Thank you so much. You bought a bag of dog food. I'm even going to tell you where it went or where it's going to go. But anyway, yeah. So, what do you guys think? Is this a big game changer finding out today? I think he'll be caught. Do you think he will be caught? What do you guys think? Do you think he'll be caught? I think he's going to, and I think it's going to be pretty soon. The technology is pretty good now. I know everybody's saying a mask. Well, he could be wearing a mask, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of other features that stick out on this guy. Thank you, Hanpei Kino. That's awesome. Um, there's a lot of other features that stick out on this guy. So a mask, okay, you're covering one thing. She said, I hope so. I really do for her family to have some closure because her family deserves closure, and they are still in a world of hurt. I just hate thinking about them, just devastated and feeling this loss and so young. I mean, this girl, oh no, she was super young, you know. I can't even imagine. So maybe Brian is living in dead space in the house. Maybe he never left. Well, if you ask me, I would check under mom's pillow, that's for sure. Kidding. I'm kidding. Sleuths on Twitter think it's Brian's handwriting, so looks like y'all are correct on that. Yeah, I think he was doing some weird stuff there towards the end. Anything for the control, anything for just to make it his show and nothing about her. Spiritual said, must be horrendous, makes me feel sick, and she's not my child. She was a baby, Ella. She was our baby too. You see how the whole world is devastated from this? I mean, we all feel this horrible loss, so I can't even imagine her parents. I can't. I'm telling you, look there. I should have said that. I don't care. But because mom is, hey, come on, don't tell me Roberta's not a piece of work. I mean, if she could stuff him in a bottle and throw him in the ocean, dig him out later, she sure as heck would. Because she's going above and beyond mom. You know what she totally reminds me of? She totally reminds me of Aiden Fucci's mom. Aiden Fucci's mom, I don't know if you guys, you're probably familiar with Tristan Bailey, but Aiden Fucci is a 14-year-old who killed a 13-year-old girl, went home, changed his clothes or whatever. The cops came and picked him up, and they went in for an interview. And while they're in the interview, she actually asked Aiden, is there anything that, will there be any evidence on your clothes? And he says, yes, blood. And they're secretive. They're right. So she leaves that interview and goes home and runs upstairs and starts washing the blood out of those pants. And she was covering up, yes, covering up after their sons. That's right. She was covering up for Aiden. And now she knew, she knew that he killed that girl. And Roberta knows too. Come on, don't tell me. Yes. And did you know what they did with Aiden Fucci's mom? They arrested her the very next day on the spot. And you know how they found out she did that? Because she had a bunch of cameras in her house and she caught herself on camera in there washing the blood out of his pants and scrubbing his stuff up. Then she shown his pants to 4 different people and asked them, "Hey, do you guys see any blood on this?" Well, who do you think's going to be at that trial? For one, those 4 people have already been subpoenaed, I'm sure. But I couldn't believe that. I've seen that video. I'm going to post it again, you guys. I'll post it again on my channel, that entire story again, because I was just blown away by Aiden Fucci's mom. My mother, shit, she definitely wouldn't have been washing blood out of my pants. I'll tell you that. Yeah, it's a crazy story, and it's going on right now. His mom just got arrested and bailed. Mm-hmm. See, I bet Roberta got him out of town before Gabby's family ever called the cops. I think so too. I think she'd shuffled him off somewhere. And I know he's not in no swamp. I know where he's not. I can tell you guys right now, I got some inside information. I know where he's not at. Yeah, I know the places don't look. Don't look where Roberta and Chris tell you he's at. How about that? That's the places he's not at. He's not at the swamp. Because if they're going, hey, swamp, look how big it is. Go on. Swamp. No, he's not in the swamp. I think he's in a house. For one, he's not going to be hitting the Appalachian Trail or a swamp in October. It doesn't get better in the wintertime in a swamp. It just gets colder and it gets more dangerous. So I don't think he's mucking through a swamp right now. I really don't. I think he is in someone's house, or she's tucked him away somewhere. Like I said, like I was telling Master over here. Yeah, she's got him under the pillow somewhere. Yes, he's in a non-extraditable country, slithering around like the snake that he is, But they've got help, you guys. Somebody is helping these people. Now, I don't know if you guys know or not, but they have a bunch of properties, and they've been often a few of their properties before this happened, actually. Not this week. But they got rid of some of their property. They sold some of their properties up, a couple of condos they sold, Roberta and Chris, and they got pretty good money. So they could be funding him. I'm thinking they can be helping him. I know they are. Come on, they're helping him. They helped him from square one. They got him an attorney before he even got home, which I don't know. I don't know if they knew the day he got home that he killed Gabby, but I think they knew the whole time, because why would you just get an attorney for nothing? Oh, you're just coming back? Okay. They didn't get him an attorney when he flew back, right? I don't remember an attorney waiting for him when he flew back. Yeah. Why was there no attorney when he flew home for a week? Because he didn't need one then. That's why. So Roberta knew. She knew he killed her. And she grabbed her an attorney quick and said, I got to save my boy. So that's why I think they knew. That's why I think Roberta knew that he killed her. And, we're looking at Chris, his dad, as not a major player. But I think Roberta tells Chris what to do too. I think she just tells Christopher, keep your mouth shut. And I think he does what she tells him to do. Because when they came out on the lawn and he run over there to pick up the laundry baskets, she went, got a couple of baskets, but she went straight for that sign. You could tell already Roberta runs the show because she grabbed that Gabby sign. She didn't want to see that anymore. And he didn't even, when Chris came out and started picking up, when his dad came out and started picking up the baskets, he didn't even go near that sign. He just kind of went to the end and started picking the baskets up. Oh, the dad is totally whipped. And yeah, she looked pissed. She really did. And I bet she cracks the whip on that guy. You could tell. You know, like even when they get in the truck, she's like, get over there to that attorney. He just, off they go. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Roberta, she totally wears the pants. She tells everybody what to do. Was one of the parents in or part of law enforcement? You know, I've heard that, but now I'm not sure. You know, the juicing thing started, oh gosh, I can't remember how long ago they started the juicing business. So I don't know if anybody was in law enforcement before that. I've heard it, like the DA department and stuff, but I don't know that for sure. And I've also heard that. Weren't they getting a divorce before all this? You know, I've heard that too. I heard an inkling of that, but I didn't find anything, you know, where I could really dig in and make sure. But you know, you can go to court records and find a whole lot of that out. Oh gosh. I can't imagine. Master said, could you imagine being whipped by Roberta? That makes me cringe. Oh gosh, she makes everybody cringe. Just looking at her makes everybody uncomfortable. The way she, oh, you know. Yes, spiritual. It could just be rumors on social media, though. There's a lot of that. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Normally, I try to dig in and see what kind of court records I can find. That's usually a great starting point. You know, like their properties, their taxes, you know, social media, different stuff. Yeah, Roberta could turn milk quick. Oh my God. She damn near curdles you just looking at her. It's like, oh no, no, no. That's why I can't wait till they pick her up. Because let me tell you, they didn't waste any time whatsoever picking up Aiden Fucci's mom. They were there the next day and picked her up and charged her with accessory after the fact. And it's going to pull some time too. She's going to do some state time over that. And hopefully Roberta gets damn life somewhere along the line because we can't stand her. I can't stand her. Well, I can't really stand his dad either. You know, I don't know what to think about the sister. To me, sometimes she just seems like under Roberta's control, kind of like the threw her out long time ago. I don't know about the sister so much. You know, sometimes I'm thinking, God, she's got nothing to say. She's kind of in on it. And then sometimes I'm thinking, oh, I don't know. Was she treated badly by Roberta? I think Brian was always the golden child. You know, I think Brian was always there and always the little good boy. That was her boy. Look at the age difference, you guys. The sister is like, I don't know how many years older than him, but I think she said she was 13 or 12 or 13 when he was born. So, hey, you got that new baby boy coming in at that age. Oh, you know, mom doted on him. You felt sorry for Cassie as well as doubted her. I know. It's hard because we really don't know what happened in their family. You're right. We don't. Is it, Ella? It's 9 years? See, thank you, honey. That's quite a bit of time. 9 years, and then you got this little bouncing baby boy. Woo, you know Roberta was happy dance, boy. And you know she just made sure every step of the way that kid got the spoon in the mouth, boy. That he was treated well. I know the sister almost seems mousy, like she's afraid to talk. So that kind of looks like she had been dominated and kind of kicked around for many years. I would be scared to death to have Roberta for my mom if I was the sister. I don't think she doted on her like she did baby boy. I think she really doted on Brian, made sure he had a good life. Well, she still is. She's still making sure he had a good life. She hasn't stopped. I know. I can't imagine her risking her children. Ella says, I can't imagine her risking her children. I can't either. Mm-mm. I don't know. But, we say that, but look at how Roberta's treating her. Go on, Cassie, get out of the way. You know, go on. She's not. Now, Cassie is saying her mom's treating her that way. Cassie's saying she's not talking to him. But of course, that's what she'd want the media to think because she wanted him off her yard. I don't know. They have to be stupid, though. They can't get away with this. It's gone beyond anyone even believing a single word that's said by their actions. Oh my gosh, you can't believe crap that comes out. It's like this Bertolino. Ugh, I can't stand him either. He's a man, Roberta, it seems like. Get it? I can't stand him either. Do you notice that he won't say anything unless it's completely proven? And then he comes across with, oh, yeah, that's what happened. Oh, yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, that really happened. Yeah, they did go camping, days different than what they said. But it's not a lie. It's not a lie, you guys. They just didn't remember. Oh, my God, Oh, my God, that man. Okay, Moody says, my siblings are 11 and 15 years older than me. I was almost raised like an only child. Yeah, because they were grown and out of the house. I feel it's probably the same for Brian and Cassie. I think you're right. I think she was grown and over and done with before Brian hit the scene. And I think Brian was raised like an only child. I think Roberta raised him like an only child and kind of just pushed Cassie out of the nest because she felt like she was grown. It's probably the same. I think Brian was raised the same way, like an only child. 9 years. Ella, 9 years is a very long time. A very time. You got a 9-year-old, and then you got a new baby. I don't know, but we're going to have to look into the divorce if they were going to get a divorce before this happened, because there will be court files on that. I think I can dig into that a little deeper. I've got the records for the houses they owned and stuff too, and I'm going to post those tomorrow, and you can see those. We'll go over those a little bit because I didn't know that they had that many places that they owned. But they are not poor people. Mm-mm. Chris and Roberta have quite a few places they own. They only sold 2 condos off. And what about whose van is that? Everybody says it's Gabby's van. So if it's Gabby's van, why didn't Brian get in trouble for coming back without her and with her van? Okay. The only thing is, I would expect her to speak out more because she was pushed out, like harboring rejection and hate. But I don't know. Families are complicated. They are complicated. Who knows? She's the one on the fence with me. I don't know what to think about Cassie. And yeah, it's Gabby's. Spiritual says, yeah, it's Gabby's. Why didn't they do something about him coming back with her van and no Gabby? Do you think he just, well, I know he didn't tell anybody anything, but do you think they just assumed he had permission? I don't know. But I'll give you guys a little insight as to what's going on with our family right now. My ex-husband died of COVID 2 weeks ago on a Friday. His girlfriend, that's all she was a girlfriend, and I will also help you guys a little bit on common law marriage. Common law in California, there is none. She cashed his check on Saturday for $10,000 after he died on Friday, and I could tell you right now, there's charges, and she's getting picked up. So I see why they pressed that on same thing, Brian, but they didn't know Gabby was dead. Okay. Let me see. Okay, you're saying, yeah, same as when police stopped them and they said to him, is she okay to drive your van to Brian? Mm. Yeah, it's okay, spiritual. It was a shockaroo, but wow. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are awesome. So Master says, from experience, I bet Roberta and Brian are having a creepy relationship. This is deeper than mother and son. Ooh, whoa, whoa! I did not see that coming, and I wouldn't disagree with it because this is damn. This is they are creepy. Oh yeah, you don't know. You know what? They're neck and neck up there with the Wells. Yeah, you don't know what's going on in that house. I don't think so. I really don't. I think they're kidding too, but they are creepy. They're creepy. Yeah, very unhealthy attachment. And I think she's as narcissistic as Brian is. You know, mine, 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 mine. Same shit. Yeah. But yeah, we now going back to that. I know we're kind of laughing at the creepy relationship, but you don't know what's going on in that house. Oh yeah, definitely Norman Bates vibes. Oh God, yes. Ugh. Um, because we didn't know what was going on with Donald Wells and Candace till we got the Donald on the toilet video, and then when we took a look at Candace, we went, "Oh my God!" We had no idea this kind of crap was going on. You know, not getting off subject, but I'm saying you don't know what goes on behind closed doors with families. We're not there, we're not living there, and there could be some creepy, weird crap going down the pike. For one, this is not natural mother son relationship. Norman Bates, yeah, I'm going to go with that. Oh my God, spiritual. She says, I thought Candace was dead in that video. I did too. I looked over and I said, I run in, told my daughter, come and look at this. I said, I think Candace is done. I said, I think she went on a nod and didn't come back. I mean, she looked dead. She looked, sorry guys, she looked horrible. But see, on that note, on that same note, we don't know what's going on in people's families. Another thing, spiritual, those boys, them little boys, was living in that. They were living in that. Well, hello. Well, hello, Angela. Welcome. Look at her little hearts. She's so cute. Yeah, she looked awful. It was so weird. I thought Candace was dead. I really did. So if there's weird crap going on like that, and Aiden Fucci's mom, let me wash some blood out of your pants. We don't know what's going on with Roberta and Brian. Oh boy, that dynamic is off the chain. I don't think Master could be too far off about those creepy creepers. They were creepy. That's not a natural relationship. You don't tell your son, hi, Angela. Hi, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. A little cutie. You don't tell your son, come on back. I got you an attorney for no reason. Oh, you're right. It's going to be a movie. It's got to be a movie. And you know what? I don't think I've ever seen a movie like The Laundrie Family. I mean, I used to be a big spooky movie buff. I mean, if Stephen King wrote it, oh man, I was there trying to get him to sign the book. I loved his stuff so much. But you know, I've never seen anything this weird. I've not seen anything this weird. Roberta and Brian and that family, the Laundries, that'd make a good movie because I've never seen one like this. You know, they're really strange. They're not, oh God, I don't know what's going on with them. But you guys have any questions that you would like to? Do you think this is going to change anything? Do you think Roberta's maybe gonna do something different? Oh, I know. I can't watch horror movies now. She said spiritual says I like his books, but I hate horror movies. I'm a wuss. Oh, I am too. I don't watch them now. I'm talking a lot in my younger years. I mean, it was a big thing for me. One of the first books I ever read was Helter Skelter. Yeah. And I wouldn't be reading that now. I would be scared to death if I read something like that and went to bed. It would go straight to dreams. I would have those awful nightmares. I don't know if I want to see the Brian Laundrie movie, because boy, that would cause you nightmares without going to sleep. He's pretty bad. Well, anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end my stream here. I need to go. I got a little bit to do. Oh my goodness, we've spent almost an hour already. That went awful fast. Oh, historical fiction now. Me and you too. That's where we're at. And I want to thank every one of you for coming and joining me. I love this conversation with you. Please come back. I will be doing live streams. I'm going to try to do at least 3 a week, just where I get to touch base with you guys. Good night, Moody. Good night. And I'd love to see you guys back. It's been lovely. Thank you so much, Spiritual. It's great. I'd love to see you back. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for the chat donation there. That was awesome. I look forward to seeing you, Spiritual, Moody, Master. I'd like to see all of you back. It's been fun. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Good night.